Chelsea were trailing at home at the Stamford Bridge 1-0 against Legia Warszawa in that encounter. That game is already in the 25th minute. The Blues are currently trailing right there at Stamford Bridge and came through a penalty from Paquet in the 10th minute of that encounter. It was the Chelsea goalkeeper Jorgensen who gave away that some cheap penalty to what's it called Lega Warsaw in that encounter. It's the UEFA Conference League game in that one between Chelsea and Lega Warsaw. 25-minute gone in that encounter, and Chelsea are currently chasing this game. Though we saw a lot of chases in the UEFA Champions League over the week, and tonight it looks like yes, another chase here in the Conference League. Can Chelsea come back in this one at home and get a win over this Lega Warsaw side and confirm their booking into the semi-finals of the UEFA Conference League? Away from the UEFA Conference League, we also have the UEFA Europa League, where Manchester United are playing at home against Olympique Lyon. It was a dramatic game right there in France. In the first leg when Lyon came back in the depth of that game to get a total draw at home against Manchester United. Lazio against Bodo Glimt. It's also in the 26th minutes of that encounter. Lazio are leading 1-0, though in the first leg they lost surprisingly against Bodo, but here at home it's 26 minutes gone in that game, and it's Lazio leading 1-0 in that one. Frankfurt against Tottenham is still 0-0 in the 27th minute, and two teams have have booked their spot in the semi-finals of the UEFA Conference League. Fiorentina played on 2-2 draw with Kaji today, but the first leg, which they defeated Kaji 2-0, was enough to push them straight into the 2-1. They defeated Kaji in the first leg, so in the return leg, winning the tie 4-3 on aggregate and booking their spots in the semi-final of the UEFA Conference League. And also the other team is the game between Jagiellonia and Real Betis. Real Betis also booked their spot in the semi-final after thanks to the first leg which they won at home 2-0, but now they played 1-1 tonight. It doesn't really matter. They are also through to the semi-final of the UEFA Conference League. So it's Chelsea and the other game, Rapid against Jorgensen, with Rapid Wien, the Austrian team, have seen a red card in the first half, so they have to hang on for their life in this encounter. And also in the Conference League, everything's still at stake for the teams playing there. We have Rangers against Athletic Bilbao, Frankfurt against Tottenham, Lazio against Bodo Glimt, and Manchester United against Lyon. Manchester United also leading 1-0, courtesy a goal from Manuel Ugarte. So it's advantage Manchester United at Old Trafford, and as it stands, yes, they are marching close to getting straight into the semi-final of the Europa League. Back to our focal match, which is the game between Chelsea and Legia Warsaw. Surprisingly, Chelsea conceded one goal in that encounter. 28 minutes gone in that encounter. Looking at the starting 11 from the Chelsea manager, Enzo Maresca, he favors a 4-2-3-1 formation tonight with a flip. Jorgensen, the goalkeeper, Josh Archipong playing as a right back, and Marco Correa as the left back. In the heart of the defense, we have Tosia Darabioyo and Beniot and Badashil. In the midfield is Keman Dillsbury and the captain Rhys James. Up front is Jadon Sancho, Cole Palmer, and Christopher Nkunku, while Eloma striker is Nicholas Jackson, who is still looking for a goal for Chelsea after about 8 or 9 matches played for Chelsea without a goal. And he was across straight into the box there from Chelsea, but aimed at no man's there, as that was easily dispossessed by the Legia Warsaw team, and the throw into Legia Warsaw right there in the 29th minute. Almost half an hour of football gonna stop for Bridge. Chelsea still trailing 1-0 in that encounter. I would have thought of that after winning 3-0 away from home when they went to Legia Warsaw in Poland. They got a 3-0 victory in that game. But yet tonight, they're trailing on their home turf in what looks like not a filled-up capacity stadium at Stamford Bridge. So you hardly see Stamford Bridge not filled up on every match day. So, but tonight, it's not really filled up. We have about just 30,000 fans in the stadium, occupying the stadium. So we still have about 10,000 to 15,000 capacity seats empty on Stamford Bridge. So for the next about we are straight in the 30 minutes, so we have about 60 more minutes to go. 1 hour of football to be played right there at the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea trailing 1-0 against Legia Warsaw. Let's just see if the Blues will be coming back in that one. That was a long goal kick there from the Legia Warsaw goalkeeper. Chelsea back in possession of the ball right now. looking to attack straight into the hands of the captain there, Rich James, attacking for Chelsea, sends it out wide onto the left part and finds the Spanish Marco Correa, who chose to go back to Rich James, who's playing in an unfamiliar position tonight in the midfield. And as the Rich James finds Badashiu straight to Tosi Adarabioyo. Chelsea will attack straight to the right now, looking for an immediate equalizer in this one against Legia Warszawa. Legia Warszawa will handle that correctly against Chelsea and looks to storm the fence into attack against Chelsea right now. The Blues still hanging on in this one. Looking at where Legia Warszawa starting 11, the goalkeeper here is Vladan Kovacevic, and in defense is Ruben Vinegri, who is playing as left back, and Rondon Pankov, who is playing as right back. In the out of defense, we have Steve Kapwadi and Jan Klokowski. While in midfield, we have the former Manchester United youth prodigy Max Oyedele, sorry, who is playing as a low man defensive midfield. While up front is looking as Claudio Goncalves, Julian Elitim, and Yoya Morishiteshi, and up front is a low man striker Thomas Paquet, who actually scored from the penalty spot against Chelsea. Looking at Manchester United game in that UEFA Europa League, what a strong starting 11 and what a dominant game for Manchester United against this Olympique Lyon side. Andre Onana is back in the goalpost for Manchester United after losing his spot in the EPL game against Newcastle, in which Pedro conceded 4 goals against Newcastle in that encounter. In goalpost is Andre Onana. In midfield, we have, in defense, we have for Manchester United, Mazauri, Maguire, and Yoro. While in midfield, we have Dalo, Dogu, and in the out of the midfield is Ugarte and Casemiro. Up front is Garnacho, Fernandez, the captain, and Ojlon, the striker, starting for Manchester United in this encounter. For Olympique Lyon is Perry, the goalkeeper. Former Arsenal defender Maitland Niles playing as the right back here. We also have the Argentine Tagliafico as the left back. In Ketia the Mata as the centre back pair. In this one, we have a 3 midfielder, Verotor Tolisco, the captain, and Akoku in the middle of the pack. Thiago Amada, the Argentine, playing as the attacking midfielder, while up front is Ryan Cheki and Mikal Tazi, the striker for Olympique Lyon. Olympique Lyon are chasing a comeback in this one against Manchester United, and the momentum is on their side. That game is on the 33rd minute. Also, Ugarte scored for Manchester United that game right there in the 10th minute of that encounter. So we are get to see if Lyon can actually stage a comeback against Manchester United in that encounter. And it's the equalizer for Chelsea. What a game for the Blues there. And it's Marco Correa who tuck that into the back of the net. And the Blues have actually restored parity in that encounter. What a way to equalize there in the 33rd minute. There's no man that the defender Marco Correa slotting that into the back of the net, and the Blues are currently back in this one. Yes, that first goal actually came as a shock to Chelsea, but they're back in this one. Beautiful cross there from that man, Jadon Sancho for Chelsea. Sends a cross into the balls. Look at how he took it. He took his man and dropped that on pass for Marco Correa. All Marco Correa had to do there was just pass that into the back of the net. That is an assist for Jadon Sancho. He's just continuing from where he stopped in the first leg, where he got 2 assists for Chelsea. 2 goals scored by Noni Madueke in that game were assisted by Jadon Sancho, and tonight he has dropped 1 assist in this one against Legia Warszawa to get Chelsea back into this encounter. When Legia talked, everything was working for them, and they can be staging a massive comeback against Chelsea. Chelsea has increased the tally to 4-1 on aggregates right now, so there's still everything to play. Legia needs 3 goals right here at Stamford Bridge without Chelsea scoring any goal to force this game straight into extra time. So Legia will attack against the Blues right now. Pankov with the ball there, looks forward and finds Moriteshi. But it's going to be a throw in there as the Japanese couldn't keep that in play there. Marco Correa with his 2nd goal in the Conference League for Chelsea. And as it stands right now, Chelsea are halfway through to the semi-finals of the Conference League. What a rush, and they stand to win the Conference League and become the first and only club in Europe to have won every European football tournament. That is the UEFA Champions League, the Europa League, the Conference League, and also the Super Cup. It's really going to be a massive history for Chelsea. Though, some Chelsea fans might argue that this is not the caliber of European competition Chelsea should be playing. But at the end of the day, you just have to play for honors. That is what really matters in football. And it's still 0-0 in that game between Rapid Wien and Jugesin from Sweden. 0-0 in the 37th minute of that encounter. Manchester United against Lyon is still 1-0 in the 36th minutes. Lyon doing everything possible to see if they can come back in that one against Manchester United. There's still very much time in that one. And Manchester United will be looking to hang on and qualify for the semi-final. They are currently languishing around there in the 14th or 15th in the EPL. So winning the Europa League and qualifying from the Champions League from that spot will really be something they'll really fancy. And also still in the competition is Lazio, who are currently playing against Bodo Glimt. They're leading Bodo Glimt 1-0 in that encounter. Frankfurt against Tottenham is still 0-0. Atletico Bilbao against Rangers also 0-0. And Rangers in that game also has Nigerians on parade in that encounter, who I'm very sure Nigerians will really want to see them get a victory over Atletico Bilbao. They really tried their best in the first leg, getting a record in the first half and hanged on against Atletico Bilbao right there in Scotland and played out a 0-0 draw. But tonight, yes, it's still Atletico Bilbao who are, controlling the tempo of the game in this encounter. And looking at that penalty again, which Chelsea considered earlier on, yes, and the referee confirmed that. And Jorgensen had a big hand on that penalty. But unfortunately, he just pushed that into the back of his own net and straight into that encounter. It's still about 37 minutes of time in that one between Chelsea and the Legia Warszawa. 1-1 is the scoreline. Looking at Atletico Bilbao starting 11 tonight, it's also 4-2-3-1 formation for Atletico Bilbao. Julian Arigazabala is the goalkeeper. In defense is Oscar Di Marcos, who is the right back and captain for Atletico Bilbao. We have Inigo Lacue, the left back. In the heart of the fence is Daniel Vivian and Yoris Alvarez, who both pair together for Atletico Bilbao in defense. In midfield is Mikel Jaurigiza and Inigo Rios de Galarreta. While up front is Alex Berengua, Olian Sachet, and Nico Williams, while Loma striker Muran Sanadi starting for Atletico Bilbao in that game against Rangers. For Rangers is the goalkeeper Liam Kelly. In defense, Leon Balogun, John Scotia, and James Travania. In midfield, you have Jeffrey Nicholas Ruskin, also Mohamed Diomende, and Ridvan Yilmaz. And up front is Ineas Agi, Cyril Disses, and also Vakev Kani. That was a beautiful chance there to Legia Warszawa. Goncalves almost coming close and almost catching the Chelsea goalkeeper unaware. Took him, that would have been a worldy goal if that had gone into the back of the net. He caught the Chelsea goalkeeper out of position, out of his own position, and he had to chase that back, but it took just an inch of the Chelsea goalpost. A worthy goal that would have been, and you can see the face of the Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca, giving that vibe of, oh, glory be to God, that didn't go into the back of the net. Still really going all tough in that account as we're straight into the 39th minute. It's still Chelsea 1, Legia Warszawa 1. Chelsea hold on to the ball at the back there. Tosin Adarabioyo goes out wide, finds Young John Archipong. Josh Archipong lost possession, but Tosin Adarabioyo will gather that for Chelsea, and he comes forward with the ball for the Blues there. Looks for the finds Badashil. His centre back Pierre Badashil will attack for Chelsea and goes out wide, finds the goal scorer Marco Correa. Kukureya with the ball there, cuts inward back and returns it back to Badashil. Badashil looks up and finds Tosin Adarabioyo. Tosin will on to the ball for the Blues, goes out wide, tries to play in his Chelsea teammate all there. But Jadon Sancho will gather that for Chelsea. Chelsea will attack against Legia Warszawa right now, and that rolls out to a throw-in. And it's the advantage Legia Warszawa as they have a throw-in against the Blues right there in the 39th minute. Cole Palmer couldn't get hold of that. Really, troublesome season, troublesome year for him. Still finding his first goal in the year 2025 for Chelsea. Really lots of, who would have thought of seeing, Cole Palmer struggle with form for Chelsea. This is a player that scored over 20 goals for the Blues last season in his first season. But this season looks like Enzo Maresca's what's it called, pattern hasn't really done justice, or hasn't done any justice to Kopama, and it has really denied him, get himself in scoring positions. And that is one of the things Chelsea fans has really complained about the manager, that the formation, the pattern of play is not really helping the talented players. It's keeping them, not really making them, limiting them from showing their full potentials, or full capacity. So it's left to be seen, at the end of the season, when they do the measure up, and see if Enzo Maresca has really tried being as the manager of Chelsea. We're there straight in the 40th minute of that game between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon. It's still 1-0. Manchester United leading. Manchester United hoping to carry that 1-0 advantage into halftime break in that one. Tottenham Hotspur against Frankfurt. Tottenham Hotspur still looking. Tottenham Hotspur also looking for the first goal in that counter, straight into the box from that free kick for Chelsea, but straight into the hands of the into the hands of the Legia Warszawa goalkeeper. Chelsea regains possession back in play there. It's Chelsea with the ball in the middle of the park. Jadon Sancho will find Badashiu. Badashiu looks inward into midfield, finds the captain, Reece James. Reece James returns, holds onto the ball after getting a pass from Christopher Nkunku, who is playing out of position tonight. Badashiu comes forward with the ball there for Chelsea, finds Christopher Nkunku, who lost the penalty in the first leg of this encounter, holds onto the ball for Chelsea right there, and still Chelsea holding and enjoying the better share of possession, with Legia Warszawa doing more of defensive work in the later stage of this first half. Chelsea will attack right there against Legia Warszawa. Still Chelsea in position. Marco Correa with the ball there, finds his Chelsea teammate Reece James. Reece James looking wide into the middle of the park, finds Tosia Darabioyo. Tosin goes out wide there, but returns it back into the hands of Badashiu. Badashiu drops it back for Reece James. Reece James looking wide into the midfield, finds his Chelsea teammate Josh Akipong, and yes, still Chelsea attacking and enjoying and growing into this encounter right now. It's still Chelsea, a long one there from the Chelsea captain. And yes, Chelsea with that big second goal. It's the second goal, and it's Marco Correa with his second goal. What a game Chelsea is having. What a turnaround for the Blues right there. It's the 42nd minute, and it's Marco Correa with the second goal. This begs a lot of questions for Chelsea fans. Since the turn of this year, it has been the defender who has been Chelsea highest goal scorer this season. How is Marco Correa getting himself into scoring position? And the likes of the Chelsea attackers, the likes of Cole Palmer, Christopher Nkunku, are really finding it hard to get into scoring position. We can see the line there. Is that going to be chalked up for offside? Yeah, all the time we tell if that is going to be removed there. But that was a good assist, and another tapping from the Chelsea's on left back there. Looks like there was an handball there. Let's see if VAR will be having a view on that. Yes, we can see the referee being called by VAR to have a check on that. So we are waiting VAR's confirmation to see if that goal is going to be cancelled, and it's going to be cancelled, and it's not a goal for Chelsea. So it's back to 1-1. That goal has been chalked off for offside against the Blues. So that celebration was a short-lived one for the Blues in that encounter. Straight in the 43rd minute of that game, and looking at the starting 11 for for Tottenham Hotspur against Frankfurt. It's a 4-3-3 formation for Angel Postecoglou and his boys there. Vicario is the goalkeeper. Poro starting as a right back. Udoji at left back. Van der Veen and Romero both starting as the centre back pair. In the middle of the park is Lucas Bakveli and Bentancur and James Maddison. While up front we have Brand Johnson, Sri Lanka, and Manchester. And talking about Sri Lanka, yes, he has scored the first goal for Tottenham Hotspur in that game. So Tottenham Hotspur 1 goal up against Frankfurt in that encounter. Looking at Frankfurt, so starting 11 is 4-2-3-1 formation also in that game. Koal is the goalkeeper. In defense we have Tete, Coach Tuta and Christensen, while in midfield is Shiri and Lasting. Up front is Brown, Gose. Good to see Manu Gose playing football tonight, and Baoya. While up front is that Loma striker Ekitike, who we've all known to be a prolific striker. Also, yes, it's subject to a big move to a lot of clubs in England. Having a view to get him. That goal scored by Tottenham was from the penalty spot, and it's Dominic Solanke who actually took that into the back of the net. So Chelsea are back to 1-1 in that encounter against Legia Warszawa as that goal then stands. So we're here to see a goal in that game between Atletico Bilbao and Rangers. It's still 0-0 in that encounter, and also in that last Europa Conference League between Rapid Vienna and Jugensen. Jugensen who has finally taken advantage of that record picked up by Rapid Vienna in the 10th minute by scoring via a penalty in the 42nd minute, and Danielson tucked that into the back of the net. So it's all going from bad to worse for Rapid Vienna, who won the first leg away at Jorgensen on the first leg. But right here in the second leg is Jorgensen who has gotten the first goal from the penalty spot. They got a record in the 10th minute and they've conceded a goal from the penalty spot in the 42nd minute. It's really going to be a big night for them. It was Mamadou Zangari who got a red card for a foul in that encounter, and the referee didn't bother, didn't take much time from going into his pocket and dishing out that record to him in that game. Manchester United game is already in the 45th plus minute, and we are currently in the additional time. Manchester United won, Lyon 0 in that encounter. Chelsea won and Legia Warszawa won. That game is already in the 45th minute, and the Blues will be looking to angle. Yes, and VR has denied them a goal. Scored the second goal in this game, scored by Marco Correa, but VR had to just chalk that off for offside. And it's 1 minute additional time at the end of this first half. So we have 1 more minute to play in this game. 1 more minute for the Blues to try and get a goal in this one. Cole Palmer with the ball in the middle of the park, but lost possession in that place. It's not really looking match fit, match sharp for Chelsea, and the Blues are really sweating on their talisman, because he's the go-to man for Chelsea whenever they need a goal. Manchester United has doubled their lead in that game against Olympique Lyon at the date of this encounter, and it's at 2-0. It's looking like, yes, Manchester United have finally marched through to the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League. What a night of football at Old Trafford, and it looks like, yes, Ruben Amorim at the end of the finally getting into the thick of action for Manchester United in what looks like a disastrous season in the EPL, but it's going to take it's going to take this qualification, serious going into the semi-final. Dalot with the second goal for Manchester United in the 46th minute. That is 1 minute into extra time in that encounter, and it's halftime in that game at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Rapid Vienna. At halftime is Chelsea 1, Legia Warszawa 1. Legia Warszawa scored the first goal in the 10th minute, and Chelsea's left back Marco Correa with the equalizer for the Blues after Pekat dashed that into the box in the 10th minute from the penalty spot. Beautiful goal for Marco Correa in the 33rd minute to restore parity, but also VAR denied him his second goal in the first half after tucking that pass from Christopher Nkunku into the back of the net. But VAR had to call the referee to go and check that, and the referee, yes, agreed with VAR that was an offside call against the Chelsea defender. So at halftime, aggregate score still sits 4-1 in advantage of Chelsea. And also in the 46th minutes or 45th plus minutes is that game between Lyon and Bodo Glimt. It's still Lyon leading 1-0 in that encounter, so it's advantage Lyon in that game. They'll be looking to come back strong in the second half, but still need 1 more goal to equal parity on aggregate, because right now they're still trailing Bodo Glimt up 2-1 in that encounter. Tottenham Hotspur is the magic where it's happening tonight. Yes, we played 1-1 right there in White Hart Lane in England, but tonight they're playing at Frankfurt, and they're currently leading Frankfurt 1-0. It's 6 minutes additional time in that encounter, and we're in the second minute of 6 minutes additional time in that game between Frankfurt and Tottenham Hotspur. So there's still a big 45 minutes to go in every center. It's halftime in that game between Manchester United and Lyon. Also, Manchester United running riots in the first half. 2-0 victor at the end of first half. Goals from Manuel Ugarte and also Diogo Dalot, putting one into the back of the net for the Red Devils. Have really put them on a big advantage, because at 2-0 it's really going to be a big wall for Olympique Lyon to climb in the second half. They've really been disappointed right tonight at Old Trafford. A different Olympique Lyon from the one we saw that played in France. That is why you have to always take your chances. The chances came calling in the first leg, but unfortunately they couldn't take those chances. And we have the first goal in that game between Atletico Bilbao and the Rangers. Is Atletico Bilbao at the end of at the dead end of that game, because that is in the 49th minute of 3 minutes additional time. Julian Sanchez puts one into the back of the net and actually struck that pin that pin into Rangers. So they'll be going into halftime lead, leading 1-0 in this encounter. A lot of penalties tonight. Sachet also scored his goal via a penalty in the 48th minute of that encounter. So right now, aggregate score sits Atletico Bilbao 1, Rangers 0. Aggregate score in that top game between Tottenham and Frankfurt sits Tottenham 2, Frankfurt 1 in that one. While Manchester United against Olympique Lyon, aggregate sits 4-2 in favor of Manchester United. In the UEFA Conference League, it's Chelsea 1, Legia Warszawa 1. Aggregate sits in favor of Chelsea 4-1 in that encounter. So I think there's still a big second 45 minutes to come in all centers in Europe. It's currently halftime in those games, and we hope to see what the second half brings in those encounters. But we'll go for a quick breather any moment from now to see, to have a view of what these guys are going to bring in the second half of this encounter. Let's go for a quick breather. When we come back, it's going to be the second half of these games.
Good day, viewers. Welcome to our fans' opinion on Premier Sport Fan Sports Center, and I'm with Shegun here, a Chelsea fan. Yeah, how do you do, Shegun?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I just have a few questions for you regarding Chelsea's upcoming match against Brentford. Just want to know your opinion, your reaction, and probably your scoreline for that match.
Well, just against Brentford is another derby. We just finished off with a derby against Tottenham Hotspur, and we saw how I think they actually played a fair game against Tottenham Hotspur. So I'll be expecting a better performance when they square up against Brentford on Sunday. There's an early kickoff game.
Yeah,
but looking at 2 p.m. game, it's an early kickoff. But looking at having Noni Madueke back and also Nicholas Jackson. We saw Nicholas Jackson against Tottenham Hotspur, though he didn't get a goal, but we could see his presence is being felt, and that is something Chelsea has really missed. And also Noni Madueke when he came in. So I think these two players will probably start against Brentford on Sunday. So I'll be expecting a victory for Chelsea, though Brentford can be stubborn because we know what the likes of Wissa and
Mbeumo,
and Wissa, we know what they can bring to the game and how stubborn they can be against any defense in this one. Chelsea will also be out without Wesley Fofana, so it's a very big shake-up in the Chelsea defense. But I'll still be expecting Chelsea to get a victory, probably a 2-1 victory, because once in the setting, the Chelsea goalkeeper Ruben Sanchez might be considering a goal.
Yeah, and do you have any scorer in mind? Anybody?
Probably Nicholas Jackson should be getting a goal for Chelsea against Brentford, because I think from games back he knows how to get those goals against Brentford. So I'll be banking on him to get one of those goals for Chelsea.
Yeah, viewers, you heard from Shegun. So join us on Sunday 2 p.m. when Brentford take on Chelsea, the GTech Community Stadium. So join us on Sunday.
Hello viewers, this is Fans Opinion, and my name is Yinka Adegbuyi, and with me here is Yemite. Yemite, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so today I'm going to just want to find your opinion about what's going on at Chelsea. With the last match they played and they narrowly just won against Tottenham, how do you fancy the chances of Chelsea staying in the top four until the end of this season?
As far as I'm concerned, is too close to call. It's blink. It's not clear. I don't think any realistic Chelsea fan will categorically tell you that they will make it into the top four. But be that as it may, it's a step in the right direction. Even though they had to struggle, at least they defeated Tottenham in their last game. So I think that they can make the top four. But how realistic it is, I think it's on a 50-50.
All right, thank you very much, Yemite. Have a lovely day.
All right, this is Fans Opinion. I'm right here. I'm with Yemite. Yemite, how did you do today?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, question for the day. Yeah. How is European Commission responding to La Liga's complaint about Manchester City finances?
Tebas just said a few days ago that they launched a complaint. So they will investigate. That's what they do. They are a body, so they want to be fair to the both parties. So they will investigate, and if it's something they will just strike out, they strike it out. If it's something that will have to go to CAS or something, then it will go. So over time, we will see where it ends.
All right, why is it that Manchester City's financial issue always drag for a long period of time?
The thing is, if you look at the way they assembled those stars, and other teams could not really do much because of FFP. So other teams felt cheated. They felt like, how can this one team be getting all this free ride of getting players, and they can't get it? And those players, they are marquee in their successful years. So I think those teams were now like, they felt cheated. And if you feel cheated, you want to contest it. And I think that's what...
last season, we had a lot of, talk about their financial, Manchester City financial issue.
they won.
It didn't affect them last season. And this season, they're not doing well. Is it one of those things that is a factor that's affecting them?
I think this is because they underrated what they will face this season. They lost Alvarez, they didn't bring another person in. They left only Alan to top strike, forgetting that many of the games they won, Alvarez will come from the bench, get the winning goal. So when you don't have support cast, the one tree cannot make a forest. So over time, they need to, they got to the realistic part of the season whereby they knew that, they've made a mistake. Now, they only lost Rodri. Because Rodri will provide shield for them defensively and attacking wise. Haaland, whenever he's not scoring, nobody really scores that much again. So I think those loopholes now have been obvious. That's why you saw they had to go bring Omar Mamouche, Kasanov, they had to bring Nico, and this other guy, Victor Reis, this winter transfer window. And it has shown positive signs.
All right, thank you very much. You can drop your opinion in our comment section. Whatever your thoughts are. Ciao.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Fans Reaction on Premier Sport Fan Center. We've seen 90 minutes of football being played between Legia Warszawa and Chelsea in Poland. That's the first leg of the quarter-final of the UEFA Europa Conference League. And Chelsea actually won that game by 3-0. And I'm there right now with Yemite, a Chelsea fan. Yemite, how do you do?
I'm fine.
Yeah, and what's your take about the match? We see Chelsea winning by 3-0.
Yeah, I think it's expected. The gap
A Chelsea fan. Yeah, man. How do you do?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, and what's your take about the match? We see Chelsea winning by 3 goals to 0.
Yeah, I think it's expected. The gap in between Chelsea and Legia was quality, history, background, and all those things. So it's expected that Chelsea should defeat them easily, and that's what they did at the end of the day. That's
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah, and you might actually told us before the match I expect Chelsea to get the job, but in the first half, Chelsea, should I use the word struggle or not impressive?
They were just complacent. They were complacent. They were not. They were not taking the opponent really seriously as they
Yeah,
should.
and Chelsea actually step up in the second half. But lastly, what's your take about Christopher Nkuku's performance? Because we saw him, he missed a penalty that could have, put Chelsea 3 up. But though the follow-up was later led to a goal from Noni Madueke. So what's your take about his performance in this particular match?
And I think he needs to improve. Playing him out of will, but he can at least adapt. At least we can see Mbappe being played out of position, and he's still coming up with the goodies. So I think he needs to improve.
Yeah, you hear that from Yermite. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section. What you think of Chelsea's performance today, and if Chelsea have actually progressed with this, 3 new victory in the first leg, or do you think Legia Warsaw will be, coming to the bridge, talking about the return leg to, probably score 3 or more to knock out Chelsea? So let us know in the comment section who you think impressed you from the way Chelsea play, and your prediction for the next, talking about the return leg come next week. And that's how we'll be ending this show right now. So thank you for
This is fans' opinion from the street side. We just saw a 90 minutes of game, Mallorca versus Barcelona. It ended 1-5.
In between Chelsea and Legia Warsaw. At the end of first half, it ended 1-1, and we can see the players back to the pitch for the start of the second half of that encounter. Chelsea has made a substitution. It's Terrick George, a young England international, replacing the non-efficient Nicholas Jackson. He was non-efficient in the first half, and I'm very sure Chelsea fans will be hoping he's not out injured again, because that was unnecessary to have started Nicholas Jackson in this encounter, knowing fully well that Chelsea are leading 3-0 at halftime. Advantage from the first leg. But right now he has been withdrawn in this game. When we await confirmation and report to see the reason why Nicholas Jackson was withdrawn at halftime. But as it stands, it's almost the restart of the second half. It's 1-1 between Chelsea and the Legia Warsaw in that encounter. And surprisingly, in that game between Rapid Vienna and Jurgen, it ended 1-1 at halftime. So 10-man Rapid Vienna came back, to equalize in that game against Jurgen of Sweden in that encounter. So there's still very much to fight for in the second half of that encounter. It's the restart of the second half in that game between Chelsea and Legia Warsaw in the Conference League, and Chelsea has made one substitution. Nicholas Jackson being withdrawn in that encounter, and is back on our screens. And Legia are playing from right to left, while Chelsea are playing from left to right in their all home attire, the all blue jersey in this game, while Legia also are playing in their all white jersey also in this encounter. Let's see if the second half is going to give us fireworks like we saw in the first half. Legia scoring in the 10th minute of that penalty from the starman and the striker and captain Peckard, who scored from the penalty spot. And this time around, we have another 45 minutes to play in this game for Chelsea to hang on or go on to win this encounter. They've been the highest scoring side in the UEFA Conference League, scoring about 33 goals in 9 matches. Shows why Chelsea are the favorite to win this competition, though there's still very much competition from their next opponents from one of the opponents will be in the semi-final. One of Real Betis or Florentina will be making it to the final, and they will be the major threat or major test for Chelsea in the UEFA Conference League. And it's the restart of the second half. The Blues are in possession of the ball right there and returns it back into the hands of Badashiu. Badashiu with the ball there, switches position, tries to play one into the path of his teammate there, but the touch on that was too much for Tosin Adarabioyo to pursue that, and he's going to roll out to a throw in for Legia Warszawa. Legia Warszawa coming all out against Chelsea right now, and they cross into the box there, but the goalkeeper will come out there, almost fumbled that, but got a punch on that. And it's also the start of second half in that game between Atletico Bilbao and Rangers, with Atletico Bilbao leading 1-0. Got to see that penalty scored by Sanket in the 45th minute of that encounter. So they have to hang on for the next 45 minutes, or probably get a second goal in that game, which they've actually dominated or proceeding in that one. And yes, Chelsea attacking is up straight into the box there. Chelsea with a chance to get the second goal. Well, rapid then, Legia Warszawa will clear their lines against the Blues. Chelsea back in possession. Referee spotted an infringement in the middle of the park there, and Badashiu went into that tackle. It's going to be a free kick to Legia Warszawa in the 48th minute of that encounter. It's also the start of second half in various centers. Lazio against Bodo Glimt, we have also restarted for the second half, and Lazio needs to get one more goal against Bodo Glimt in that encounter to stand a chance of making it through to the semi-final. They lost the first leg 2-0, but yeah, in the second leg they are currently leading 1-0. Got to say that goal scored in the first half by the Loma striker Valentin Castellanos. A win in this game will send them to the semi-final and face off against Manchester United. Should Manchester United make it through to the semi-final, Manchester United has an advantage on the start of their second half in that game, as they are currently leading 2-0 against Olympique Lyon. So they have to hang on for the next 45 minutes and don't allow Olympique Lyon a way back into that encounter for them, to get a spot in the semi-final. So we'll be also be looking at that game, looking at proceedings of that game, and be giving you updates of what happens around in that encounter. Back to African match, one between Chelsea and Legia. As Chelsea attacking right now against Legia Warszawa in that encounter. Returns it back into the hands of the Chelsea defender, Tosin Adarabioyo. And Tosin goes out wide, finds Dewsbury. Christopher Nkuku couldn't hold on to that, but referee allows plays to continue, says that was advantage Chelsea. And finally, he spotted at the infringement in the middle of the park. It's going to be a free kick to Chelsea as Packard gets hold of the Chelsea captain Reece James in that moment. So at the stages of the second half, it's Chelsea who are currently enjoying the best possession in this one and forcing Legia Warszawa to do more defensive work as a chaser that gets the lead in this encounter. Chelsea back in possession. Tosin Adarabioyo there for Chelsea, and he goes as wide and finds the young Josh Achipong there. Chelsea will look to hold on to this one, comes inward with the ball there, returns it back and finds Badashiu goes out wide and tries to play in his Chelsea teammates. Yes, easy to the leg there. And yes, Jadon Sancho with the ball for Chelsea. Chelsea attacking right there against Achipong will return it back to the captain Reece James. Reece James finds Marco Correa, the goal scorer for Chelsea. And yes, Chelsea attacking against Legia Warszawa. Still Chelsea in possession. And yes, Dewsbury all on the ball there. Returns it back into the middle. Finds Badashiu to Tosin Adarabioyo. Tosin returns it back to Badashiu. Badashiu goes out wide and finds his Chelsea teammate. Here's Marco Correa. 1-2 from the Chelsea. Back to Marco Correa. Christopher Nkuku there and finds his Chelsea teammate. His Chelsea still attacking against Legia Warszawa, trying to pull them out of the puzzle of defending in this encounter. Tosin there finds Dewsbury. Chelsea attacking right now. Cole Palmer with the ball for the Blues there. Still holds on to it and returns it back to Tosin Adarabioyo. And Tosin with the ball for Chelsea goes back to the goalkeeper Jorgensen. Jorgensen drops one for Badashiu. Badashiu will come forward with the ball for the Blues there. And still Chelsea taking all their time in this encounter. They're not in a rush to attack against Legia Warszawa, but it has been a first 5 minutes in the second half in which the Blues has really dominated possession against Legia Warszawa. The better share of possession is to the home side. 73% of the ball to the home side, 27% to Legia Warszawa. Here's a chance for Legia Warszawa to get the second goal in this game, and still trying to find the space to get that shot in. And that's straight into the hands of Chelsea goalkeeper, who parries that down. And still Legia Warszawa with a chance there. Go straight for the corner. But this time around, that is not going to drop into the box of the net, into the back of the net. Sorry, beautiful chance there for Legia Warszawa, but they couldn't pull that into the back of the net. So talking about the chances created in this encounter, Chelsea has seen 4 big chances, while Legia Warszawa has been reduced to just 2. 7 total shots for Chelsea, 4 for Legia Warszawa, and still no shot on. Let me see, just one shot on target for Legia Warszawa in the whole of this encounter. They really need to do better in the second half should they want to get more goals. And looking at the passes is one of the reasons why you have an enlarged possession on Chelsea side. 500 passes completed by Chelsea in this game, just 181 completed by Legia Warszawa. Really shows why they're struggling to hold onto the ball against the Blues in this game. The referee spotted an infringement in the box there, and he asked for the ball to be replayed, the corner kick to be replayed by Legia Warszawa. The Chelsea defenders also needs to be very much careful in their box there, not to concede unnecessary penalty. The 5th minute of second half in that game between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon is still 2-0. Manchester United leading in that one, and they are 40 minutes away from booking their spot in the semi-finals of the Europa League. Here's the corner kick to Legia Warszawa against Chelsea. 53 minutes of action gone right there at the Stamford Bridge. They have this to defend right now. Will this be a chance for Legia to get their second goal against the Blues in this one? We await the kick of that corner kick, and the referees on the box there trying to spot if there's an infringement. They cross into the box, and that is the chance for Legia Warszawa, and they've pulled that into the back of the net. And what is it with Legia getting early goals against Chelsea? They got the first one in the 10th minute of the first half, and just about 7 minutes into the second half, Legia Warszawa has restored their lead against the Blues. And everything's going from bad to worse for Chelsea. It's now 4-2 on aggregates. They have to concede this. To think that, yes, that is from the set piece. Rubbles in the box there. How do you leave that man on mark there? There's no offside there. And he has to just, there was nothing the goalkeeper could do about that. As in, headed that. It was just free on goal there. The goalkeeper finally had a hand on that, but he couldn't for the second time. Get a big save on that. The reason probably we can just attribute this to match rustiness on the part of the goalkeeper. But you can see what it means there to Legia Warszawa. If only they hadn't conceded from Chelsea from Marco Correa in the first half, probably there would have been a goal behind the Blues right now. But they can still dream, they can still hope of a comeback in this one against Chelsea. It's a game of football. Anything can happen. So right now on aggregate, it's Chelsea leading 4-2. Legia Warszawa will attack against the Blues again. Here's a chance for the third goal. But Chelsea's goalkeeper came with a big hand to actually grab that. And here's Chelsea's chance from a goal kick. What a game. What a second half we are having at the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea trailing against Legia Warszawa in that encounter. 54 minutes gone in that game. And we've seen about 7 minutes of action already in that encounter. You can see the Legia Warszawa fans at Stamford Bridge having the feel of it and enjoying their moments right there in that encounter. Chelsea from playing from the back in this encounter right now, attacking against Legia Warszawa. Rhys James will drop it back to Badashil. Badashil out wide and finds Tosin Adarabioyo, who returns it back to the goalkeeper Jorgensen. Jorgensen will find Badashil. Badashil looks inward into midfield, plays in Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer drops it to the Chelsea goal scorer Marco Correa, who attacks on the blue. A chance for Chelsea to attack here. And here's Jenny Sancho with the ball there, straight on the goalkeeper, who parries that against the Blues there. Legia also break out against Chelsea to eat out on the counter, looking how to reduce the deficit, further reduce the deficit to just one goal. And they are currently enjoying momentum. Holds on to the ball in the middle of the park, as the Chelsea players to beat. I think the Chelsea manager should be looking out to his bench and probably be making a substitution in the early stages of the second half. Yes, we've seen one, Tariq George. Well, we can also see if he can look into this bench and bring in that man who gave them 2 goals in the first leg, talking about Noni Madueke. Looking at Chelsea bench, yes, we've seen Tariq George being thrown in. There's also Lucas Bagis. Bergstrom, the goalkeeper. Robert Sanchez, the first choice goalkeeper, is also on the bench. Malo Gusto, and that is going to be a penalty. Is that going to be a penalty? We are waiting to see the referee's decision, but he says no. He flags that up. I'm very sure VI will be having a view of that, as that's Legia Warszawa player, the Japanese man there, just went down. But the referee has judged that to be a soft challenge. Not good enough to be a penalty against Chelsea. Yes, it's that man, Roya Morishita, who went down in the box there, but off a challenge for Marco Correa. But the referee allows players to continue, since that was a soft challenge on the Japanese. So looking at Chelsea bench, stopped on Malo Gusto. There's also Genesis Antwi, Nani Madueke, Matthias Amogu, Samrak Sai, Legia Warszawa, Ladon Emenalo, who is on the bench for Chelsea tonight. Pedro Neto is also on the bench. And we also have a striker, Shumaira Mauka, also on the bench for the Blues tonight. So they have a bit of rich bench that they can look up to and try and change on the face of this game, because it's going to be a disappointing one should Chelsea lose this game. It's still Chelsea in the box there, chance for the Blues there. And what would they make out of this? Tyrick George on the ball finds Jadon Sancho, who returns it back to Tyrick. Tyrick in the box there, returns it back to Jadon Sancho. Sancho with a cross, finds the Marco Correa, who couldn't connect that across goal right there. And into the hands, it's going to be a goal kick to Legia Warszawa. In the 5th or 7th minute of this encounter, we're 3 minutes away from 1 hour of football at Stamford Bridge, which will leave us with about 30 more minutes to go in that. Yes, the referee has charged that to be a body check down. And yes, Chelsea preparing 2 substitutions in this game. Marco Correa will be withdrawn, and Malo Gusto will be thrown into this encounter. And you can see, even I don't really understand why he's withdrawing Malo Gusto. Probably, to keep him fresh for the EPL game coming on Sunday. They have a tough tie against the resurgent, Everton in the EPL. So they have to get all their players, fit as possible. So we'll be seeing Marco Correa being withdrawn. Is Malo Gusto thrown in, and also Noni Madueke, who got 2 goals in the first leg in Poland, will be coming in for Cole Palmer. Another disappointing night for the England international. Cole Palmer will still yet to get a goal for Chelsea this year. Really disappointing. Nobody can really, say this is why Cole Palmer has really struggled to get some goals for Chelsea since the turn of the year. It has really been disappointing for him, and also lost a penalty for the Blues this year. So not so unlike the Cole Palmer we've always seen play for Chelsea. He needs to get back into that form that made him one of the dreadful players in England for the Blues. Yes, let's see if we'll be getting more goals. Probably when the EPL returns this weekend, when Chelsea face off against Everton. He'll be looking to get that goal in that encounter. Really disappointing night for the young man, but he doesn't have to just get that. Also, really have to worry him. I remember him losing that penalty against against Leicester City in the EPL. I think the last time he scored for Chelsea was that game against his last time he scored for Chelsea was January against Bournemouth. That beautiful goal in the 13th minute against Bournemouth for Chelsea. That total draw against Bournemouth. That was the last time Chelsea saw Cole Palmer score for them. And since then, it has really been a disappointing affair for the young man. And it's the run into the end of the season in the EPL. So it's left to see what he can really do on Sunday against Everton. It's really famous to know that he scored about 3 or 4 goals against Everton last season in that 5-3 or 6-3 dribbling of Everton by Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea attacking. Noni Madueke on the ball there, holds onto it on the far right attack for Chelsea. Tries to play one in there, but Legia Warszawa regains some possession. Looks to attack against the Blues. That should be a free kick to Legia Warszawa. Yes, that has been given by the referee. We're straight into the 60th minute of that encounter. 1 hour of football played already. Chelsea trailing Legia Warszawa in that encounter. 2-1 it is as it stands right now. Legia Warszawa advantage in that one between Atletico Bilbao and Rangers in the Europa League. It's still 1-0 Atletico Bilbao leading in that one. And Tottenham Hotspur still leading 1-0 against Frankfurt. Manchester United is still 2-0 against Olympique Lyon. And also Lazio against Bodo Glimt is still 1-0 in that encounter. Also, that one between Rapid Vienna and Jogedin is still 1-1 in that game. So we're yet to see goal scores in other centers since the restart of second half, except for the goal scored by Legia against Chelsea. 60 minutes of football, 1 hour of football gone at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea trailing 2-1 against this Legia Warszawa side. This has really been an surprising and interesting affair between both of them. Can Chelsea stage another comeback in this one after conceding 2 early goals? First in the 10th minute and the second within another 10 minutes of the restart of the second half. And yes, Chelsea attacking right now. A chance for the Blues there on the other side of the pitch there. Malo Gusto with the ball there. Approaches the Legia Warszawa box there. Still holds on to it and looks to set the cross into the box. And yeah, he's what a chance for Noni Madueke. He will have been equalizer for the Blues. And here's another Rubbles in the box there. But Legia Warszawa finally clears the lines against Chelsea there. A worry chance for the Blues. Double save there from the Legia Warszawa goalkeeper and the defender, and to deny the Blues of a second goal in that encounter. Beautiful, beautiful. You have to give it to the goalkeeper there. Kovakovic is the goalkeeper. That was an impressive save from him there to deny Chelsea a second goal. The Blues will go all out again, looking for that equalizer. Yeah, he's Tosin Adarabioyo finds the Chelsea teammate there. Still Chelsea in possession of the ball. Returns it back to to him there, returns it back and switches possession, finds the Chelsea player. Yes, Chelsea attacking right there. Noni Madueke on the ball, approaches the Legia Warszawa defense there and cuts in and a corner straight into the hands of the goalkeeper who parries that out. Malo Gusto will chase that for Chelsea. Chelsea piling the pressure against Legia Warszawa and taking everything to Legia Warszawa in this encounter. Yes, Chelsea attacking again. And what will the Blues makes out of this cross? A short pass there, which finds his teammate. Still Chelsea in possession. Rhys James will find Badashil. Badashil looks inward into the midfield. Still Chelsea in possession of the ball. And I've seen more of the ball in the second half. But Legia Warszawa, I've seen more goals in the second half. So it's not really about who owns the possession. It's about how clinical you are front of goal and how you take your chance. All with the ball there, finds Noni Madueke. Madueke who takes that out wide and has one Legia Warszawa player to beat. He approaches the box there, returns it back to the ball from Chelsea. But that eluded the Chelsea players in the box there. And still Chelsea in possession. What will they make out of this? Looks forward to get one into the box. Still the Blues in possession. There's Malo Gusto. Drops it for his captain, Rhys James. Yes, Chelsea attacking. Noni Madueke tries to hold on to that challenge there. But Legia Warszawa player will actually gain possession. This should be a throw into Chelsea. Yes, rightly given there by the linesman. And there's a throw into the Blues there. Chelsea takes that quickly. And Rhys James with the ball there finds Dusbrio. And yes, Chelsea attacking. Malo Gusto finds finds Badashil. Badashil straight onto the wing. Finds JD Sancho. Sancho will approach the box. Still holds onto the ball for Chelsea. And what will he make out of this? He asked up two players to beat. Looks and finds the hole into the box there. Cross from Chelsea. And this time around is going to be a corner kick to the Blues right there in the 64th minute of that encounter. We've also seen 1 hour of football played between Manchester United and Lyon, and gradually this game is looking like a victory for Manchester United. That would have been a goal for Chelsea if not for that young man there sporting the jersey number 3, Kapoaudi, who actually cut that off. He scored the second goal for Legia Warszawa against Chelsea, and he also denied Chelsea getting a chance of getting the second one against his team. Yes, Chelsea still looking to gain momentum and get out the second goal in this encounter. Approaches the box. Here's a chance for Chelsea with this very chance there though. But Legia Warszawa took a big deflection off the ball. Another save there from Legia Warszawa in the box. They are throwing all the bodies against the ball. Another cross from this time around and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. And won't threaten the goalkeeper Kovacevic, and who handles that comfortably against the Blues. What a rush in this encounter. Legia Warszawa leading Chelsea in the 64th minute. And let's see that again. Yes, there's a call for a foul against Maxi Oyedele there. Let's see if the referee will be having a check from VAR to see if that was worthy of a penalty. I doubt if the referee is going to give that because it looks like his hand was in a natural position. And talking about Maxi Oyedele, the former Manchester United youth prodigy who currently plays for Poland and not the Nigerian national team, because he actually has a Yoruba name, but he's not playing for Super Eagles. He plays for the Polish national team. The goalkeeper is currently down there, and the medics are currently on the pitch to attend to him. Looking at other centers, it's still parity still remains the same. 1-1 between Rapid Vienna and Jogedin, as it's still 1-0 between Lazio and Bodo Glimt, and also 2-0 in that one between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon. 1-0 Tottenham still in against Frankfurt. Atletico Bilbao are still 1 goal up against Rangers in that encounter. All games are over 1 hour mark right now, so we are less than 30 minutes away from the end of this various encounter. The game between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa is already in the 66 minutes, which means we have about 24 more minutes to go in that zone. 24 more minutes for the Blues to get an equalizer and probably get a winner in this game, or else it's going to be a disappointing affair for the Blues in this encounter. Chelsea 1 on Legia Warszawa 2. Yesterday we saw beautiful games in the UEFA Champions League as we saw the confirmation of the fixtures of the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League 2024-2025 season. Arsenal going to the Santiago Bernabeu to get in a 2-1 victory over Real Madrid to make it a home and away, complete demolition of Real Madrid in that encounter. We also saw the other game where Inter Milan, I think, played out a draw against Bayern Munich, but were able to also make it through to the semi-final of the UEFA Champions. So we have the matchup in the semi-final already. It's going to be yes, they played out a 2-2 draw with Bayern Munich yesterday, but they made it through to the semi-final after defeating Bayern Munich 2-1 in the first leg. So it's going to be a matchup between Barcelona and Inter Milan in the semi-final for a spot in the final of the UEFA Champions League, which is going to be played in Munich. We also have Arsenal will be having to go head-to-head 2 games against what's it called, PSG. Yes, they earlier defeated PSG during the league format of the UEFA Champions League, but now is in the knockout stage where experience comes to play and comes to matter the most. So back to it. Congratulations to those teams that made it through to the semi-final. We are waiting to see who are the 2 teams who will be making it through to the final of the UEFA Champions League to be played right there in Munich. Will it be Arsenal? Will it be PSG? Will it be Barcelona? Or will it be Inter Milan? One of those 4 teams we have to. One of those 4 teams will have to be crowned as the winner of the UEFA Champions League, which is currently being held by Real Madrid, who are the most successful side when it comes to UEFA Champions League. 15 times winner of the UEFA Champions League, but they came crashing against Arsenal, who are yet to win one UEFA Champions League. And back to the UEFA Conference League, the list of the European competition. Nani Madueke attacking for Chelsea. Chelsea holds onto the ball there, returns it back to the captain, Reece James. Reece James will find his teammate. Yes, Chelsea attacking, looking to create and take advantage of a loophole in between the Legia Warszawa defense, but Legia Warszawa are hanging on for their life. I'm very sure one more goal for Legia Warszawa in this encounter will really send this game into a big issue. Chelsea attacking right now. Nani Madueke from the far right holds onto the ball there as one Legia Warszawa player to beat and holds onto it and returns it back to Dewsbury. Dewsbury looks forward and finds the captain. And yes, still choose Chelsea. Josh Achipong finds on his centre back Pierre. Tosin Adarabioyo, Tosin with the ball for Chelsea, goes back to the goalkeeper. Jorgensen, who is having a disappointing night, having conceded 2 goals in this encounter. 2 goals probably he could have saved for Chelsea because he had a big hand on the balls, but couldn't direct his save out of the goal post, and he conceded from those 2 chances. And yes, still Chelsea in possession, returns back to the goalkeeper Jorgensen, which Chelsea got from Valencia over the end of the season. And it's left to see if he will still remain with the club come next season after looking at the form which Petrovic is currently with Strasbourg. Is a fantastic goalkeeper, one of the top-rated goalkeeper in Europe this season. Yes, Chelsea with the ball there and tries to play. Tariq trying to play Nani Madueke, but Nani actually moved ahead of the ball. The Blues are in a big hurry, looking to get an equalizer. Totally dominated game from Chelsea in this encounter, but they are not dominating when it comes to goals, as Legia Warszawa currently leads in that one. We're straight into the 70th minute of that encounter, and barely 20 more minutes to play in this one. We Chelsea come back against Legia Warszawa, who are looking and still need them 2 more goals against the Blues in this one, but Chelsea needs to score 1 goal to end this tie. And here's a chance for Legia Warszawa. A shot there and straight into the hands of the Chelsea goalkeeper, and you can see the Legia Warszawa player going down from that challenge, but the referee says that was a soft challenge and not good enough to be a penalty. And you can see the Legia Warszawa player. I'm very sure VR will be having a view of that. The goalkeeper almost fumbling that. Let's see that again. And this looks like penalty. Probably VR will be having a view of this and see if it's going to be a penalty. Yes, we can see VR having to call the goal referee to confirm if that is going to be a penalty, but the referee says no, he's not going to he's not going to check that. But if he gives that as in the first half as a penalty, yes, he should be giving this also as a penalty to Legia Warszawa. But the referee says no, that is a soft challenge. He's not going to give that as a penalty. So Legia Warszawa has a corner kick against Chelsea. Don't forget they scored 1 from corner kick already, and returns them back to play, but still played in dangerous positions. Still Legia Warszawa, and they'll be looking to send another cross into the box. This time around they try to dribble their way, but Chelsea get hold of that and looks to attack, and Legia Warszawa has almost all their players in the blue zone box right now. They are really chasing this game and having the belief and the mentality that yes, they can stage a comeback in this one against Chelsea. Everything is still within their it's still within their powers to get that, because they currently need 2 more goals to actually knock out Chelsea. Chelsea back in possession of the ball there. Jorgensen, the goalkeeper, will drop it straight into the path of Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto finds the centre back in this game. Tosin Adarabioyo, who finds Josh Achipong. Achipong wheels onto the ball for Chelsea. Chelsea will attack right now. Dewsbury with the ball there. Approaches Legia Warszawa box there. drops one for Nani Madueke, who approaches Legia Warszawa box. Nani Madueke drops the pass but couldn't get onto the part of Tyreek in that one. And Legia Warszawa will break out against Chelsea right now. Still Legia Warszawa in possession. That should be a throw-in, and the referee allows play to continue. Says that's actually, yes, the linesman already called it, and it's a throw-in to Legia Warszawa. What a game we are currently having right at Stamford Bridge. 72 minutes of action gone in this game. It has really been a night of fumbling from the Chelsea goalkeeper. He was almost dashing out a penalty there, which I think to me should have been a penalty to Legia Warszawa. If that first one in the 10th minute was adjudged to be a penalty, this should also be a penalty, and he needs to be very much careful with his handling and going into those tackles. I remember that game against Ipswich in the first leg. He gave out a penalty to the Ipswich striker Liam Delap, who is being subject to a big money move to Chelsea. And let's say who Chelsea will be getting at the end of the season. But we surely know is that they will be in the market to see if they can get new players come end of the season. Chelsea right there, Josh Archipong with the ball, couldn't get a right pass onto the part of his teammate there, and it's going to be a throw in there to Legia Warszawa. Pressure mounting on the side of Chelsea, and let's move straight to Old Trafford, where there is no pressure for Manchester United, still leading 2-0 against Olympique Lyon. It looks like, yes, as it stands, Manchester United will be making it through to the semi-final. Another team that looks that will make it to semi-final is Tottenham Hotspur, who at 69th minute are still leading 1-0 against Frankfurt right there in Germany. Atletico Bilbao are currently leading 1-0 against Rangers in that encounter, and it's Lazio, who needs one more goal to equal this game against Bodo Glimt, who they are currently leading 1-0 in that encounter also. And it's a 1-1 in that one between Rapid Vienna and Jogadin in that encounters. That game is also in the 70th minute. And talking about this one between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa, yeah, is the equalizer for Chelsea, and they put that into the back of the net. What a way to come back into this encounter, and this referee says that is an offside. And for the second time in this game, Chelsea has been denied a goal by VAR. This time around is the linesman will deny Chelsea a goal. Let's see that again. Yes, the Olympique Lyon has finally reduced the deficit in that game against Manchester United. It's currently 2-1 in that game between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon. The Chelsea goal won't stand, but I'm very sure VAR is still having a review of that to see if Nani Madueke was actually in the offside position for Chelsea goal. And that is the restart of the game. The goal has been chalked off, and it's back to 2-1, and Chelsea trailing against Legia Warszawa. 2 goals been chalked off for offside, and you have to appreciate how much work Legia Warszawa are doing when it comes to keeping the offside line. That is the correction. And the goal for Olympique Lyon was scored by Tolisso, the captain, and that is what we say about the Manchester United goalkeeper. Andre Onana is always a 1.0 to concede in every match. Yes, on 2-1, so it's lifeline to Olympique Lyon as they go straight into the 9 embers of that encounter. What Manchester United won't fumble this again? And that is the question on the face of all Manchester United fans. Yes, let's see. We still have about 18 more minutes to play in that encounter. But this one at Stamford Bridge, which is our focal match, is already in the 75th minute. 15 more minutes to play between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa. Big touch there from the Chelsea centre back. And you expect Osadabia to be doing better than what he did there. But it's a throw in there to Legia Warszawa against Chelsea. Let's see what they make out of this throw-in. They are still in a rush. They know that they still stand a very good chance against these Blues. Anything can still happen in this encounter. A throw into Legia Warszawa right there. And it looks like, yes, the captain who really wants to take a long throw after he got the captain armband after Pekard, the goal scorer, was replaced in this encounter, but chose to go for a near shot one there. And yesterday Legia was so attacking against the Blues. Yes, a chance for them to send a cross and further reduce the deficit in this encounter. With this great chance, a cross into the box. With that be it for Legia Warszawa, just a touch was needed there, but that eluded all the Legia Warszawa player in the box. A touch would have put that into the back of the beautiful cross, beating the Chelsea offside trap. Oh, that would have been an offside. That would have been offside against Legia Warszawa if any player had actually touched that. And Legia Warszawa will be preparing 2 substitutions in the 76th minute of this encounter. 14 more minutes to go in this game How will Chelsea handle this last 40 minutes? They need to get one goal. Anything less than a draw in this encounter is going to be an embarrassing result, a disappointing result for the Blues. Yes, Chelsea attacking right here against Legia Warszawa. Josh Achepong with the ball there, goes as wide, finds Noni Madueke. Madueke, the provider of the cancelled goal, drops it back, and yeah, it's Tosin Adarabioyo. Tosin will approach the middle of the park with the ball for Chelsea, and steals onto the ball, tries to play in Tariq, and yeah, it's not Tariq getting hold of that, and they cross into the box there, but no man's land here, as there was nobody to get hold of that, and the referee says it's going to be advantage Legia was. Oh, that was Christopher Nkunku who couldn't get onto that cross from the Chelsea player. It's going to be 2 substitutions for Legia Warszawa right now, as we're trying to see who they will be replacing in this encounter. And yes, we are saying that it's the number 22 early team will also be replaced in this game. And we can see that player sporting the jersey number 71 for Legia Warsaw being thrown into this game. His name is Matthews. Okay, his name is Matthias. Let's just stay with Matthias. 2 substitutions already for Legia Warsaw in that game against Chelsea. So it looks like 2 attacking substitution from them. They really want to go all out against Chelsea, and get the winner. So that is a player, Eletim, fantastic player. He has really been full of runnings for Legia Warsaw in this encounter. And we can also see the big man being thrown into that encounter, sporting jersey number 8, Rafael Augustiniak, be thrown into this encounter. He's a big man, and he has gotten the captain armband as soon as he got onto the pitch. Right there is the 78th minute. 12 more minutes to play in regulation time in this encounter. Legia Warsaw needed 2 more goals to send this game into extra into extra time. Aggregate score is Chelsea 4, Legia Warsaw 2. And in that game between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon, is Manchester United who are currently leading in that game, and it's going to be a dicey end of that encounter. 75th minute approaching the 76th minute. Lyon throwing the whole pressure at Manchester United and hoping to get the second goal within the next 15 minutes of that encounter. But you can't write anything away from Manchester United. They know how to come back in games like this. Legia also attacking against Chelsea, but Chelsea defenders did a massive job there and getting hold of that ball for the Blues. And it has been a ton of affair in that game, with Legia also enjoying the better share of possession for the last about 5 minutes of this encounter. Looking at how possession stands in this game since the start of second half, it's still Chelsea who have the better share of possession, overall possession, with 72% of the ball, while Legia Warsaw has about 28% of the ball. There have been a lot of shouts on Enzo Maresca to change his pattern of play, but surprisingly, the Chelsea manager said this is the way he knows how to play. He knows how to play his own football, and Chelsea fans have to stick with the way he plays. For as long as he is here, he's not going to change this pattern of play. And also with some players like Malo Gusto, also comes out to talk about that pattern, that yes, it has really been a learning course for him this year, unlike last season where he was all flying, and he has been limited with the way he plays for Chelsea this season, being played out of position, not his regular position as a right back. This time around, playing more as an inverted right back, not the out for out right back who marries the line. But let's see how he goes at the end of season, with Chelsea been maintaining Enzo Maresca for next season, or they'll just be getting another manager. So that is still left to see come end of the season. Yes, back to the Chelsea goalkeeper there, who finds his Chelsea defender Badashiu. Yes, Chelsea attacking against Legia Warsaw, but returns in the ball. The captain wins possession for Chelsea in the middle of the park, and still Chelsea in possession of the ball there. What would they make out of that? Almost losing possession, but regains possession. Jenny Sancho will attack for Chelsea. Yes, still Chelsea attacking right there. What will Sancho make? Beats his man there and sends a low cross into the box there. But that was a disappointing header from the Bulls. What a game we are having in that one between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon, as Olympique Lyon has turned this around and gotten the equalizer against Manchester United. It's now 2-2 in the 77th minute of that encounter. Waiting for the confirmation if that goal is going to stand against Manchester United. What a game, what a disappointing affair for the home side in that encounter. Aggregate currently sit 4-4 should that goal stand in that game. 80th minute approaching the 81st minute in that game between Chelsea and Legia Warsaw. Chelsea in possession. The captain Reece James sends a long one across pitch, tries to play in his Chelsea teammate there. And in the midfield is Dewsbury, who lost possession for Chelsea there. what a game we are currently having in Europa League, as everything is currently going to see if we want to see if that goal actually stand off. With VR, we're chalking it off. We're talking about that goal scored by Olympique Lyon against Manchester United. Still 2-1, that's 2-1 between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa. And that game is already in the 82nd minute. Barely 8 more minutes to play in that encounter. Would have thought of seeing Olympique Lyon, coming back against Manchester United. And that goal stands. Yes, Nicolas Tagliafico, the left back for Olympique Lyon, getting the equalizer for Olympique Lyon, and they are back in that game against Manchester United. Aggregate now sits 4-4 in that game. Disappointing night for Manchester United. I know if there's one thing that's certain, they have to go into the market and get a goalkeeper come end of the season. And the second goal for Atletico Bilbao against Rangers. So it's Atletico Bilbao 2, Rangers 0, and it's all done and dusted. Nico Williams getting the second goal at the 80th minute for Atletico Bilbao. What a night for the Spanish side as they'll be going through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. It's still 1-0 in that one between Frankfurt and Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur leading 1-0. What a disappointing shots there from Tyreek George. He should be coming down and pull that into the back of the net, for Christ's sake. And yes, Chelsea making another substitution. It's Pedro Neto will be thrown into this encounter for JD Sancho, who the manager said, yes, I've seen enough of you in this encounter. Lazio against Bodo Glimt is still 1-0. Lazio leading in that encounter. And Jogedin has scored the second goal against Rapid Vienna in that encounter. 78 minutes gone in that game. It's currently 2-1. Jogedin leading in that encounter. So there's all to fight for, to die to the end in that game between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon. 2-2 stands. Now 2-2 was the scoreline at the end of the first leg, and 2-2 is currently sits at the 80th minute in the return leg. 2 goals in quick succession for Olympique Lyon. One from the captain Tolisso, and also Tagliafico getting the second goal, all in the space of 6 minutes against Manchester United. Chelsea will attack against Legia Warszawa right now in the 83rd minute, looking for the equalizer in that encounter. Drops it straight into the path of Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke he actually battled that. You can see the disappointment on the face of the England international. He knows he should be doing better from that angle there. 84 minutes of action gone already. 6 more minutes to play in regulation time between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa. And Chelsea are on course for their first defeat in the UEFA Conference League, and it's coming in the quarterfinal of the UEFA Conference League. Should they lose this game against Legia Warszawa, would have thought after defeating Legia Warszawa 3-0 in the first leg, but coming here in the second leg to actually scatter like a card in the second. Yes, Chelsea back in possession. Tosin Adarabioyo drops it to Josh Archipog. Archipog will hold on to the ball, turns around in the box there, looks inward and finds Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto goes out wide and finds his Chelsea teammate. Chelsea attacking here into the middle of the park. The Blues will look to attack against Legia Warszawa right now. He has a chance for Chelsea to send one into the box. But turns it back and finds Malo Gusto in the middle. Malo Gusto finds the captain, Rhys James. And Rhys James drops it out there, tries to play in his teammate, Noni Madueke. Legia Warszawa will attack against Chelsea right there. And they have about 5 more minutes to chase this game against the Blues and get 2 more goals under 5 minutes. Still Legia Warszawa in possession of the ball. Drops it for his teammate. Attacking against Chelsea, finding himself in good position to attack. Here is still Legia in the box there. But that's is going to be dragged out there by Achepong, and it's going to be a corner kick to Legia Warszawa. 5 minutes of action right there at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea trailing 2-1 against Legia Warszawa. Just one goes for the Blues in this encounter, which was scored by Marco Correa in the 33rd minute of the first goal, scored by Peckard for Legia Warszawa from the penalty spot in the 10th minute before Kapwa Odi scored the second goal for Legia Warszawa in the 53rd minute to make them or give them advantage in this game 2-1 at Stamford Bridge, and putting them on course for a real victory against the Blues in the second. Another substitution here is Kowalski being withdrawn by Legia Warszawa, and it will be being withdrawn, yes, and it's another man, Jezedrick, will be thrown into the second. 2 more substitution by Legia Warszawa. They really want to go in this last 5 minutes of this game to see if they can further get 1 more goal and reduce the deficit in this encounter. Looking at the way they've played this second leg, you ask yourself the question, where was this bite from Legia Warszawa in the first leg of this encounter, which they lost 3-0 against Chelsea. Wait to see the Manchester United game is in the 84th minute. What a wasted effort there from Legia Warszawa against Chelsea. And that was from the number 11 player there. And also in the Manchester United game, we are already in the 84th minute, and still Lyon taking the pressure to Manchester United, which midfield has really collapsed in this game. They really need to hang on for the rest of this game, and they have about 6 more minutes to hang on against Olympique Lyon in that encounter. 87 minutes of action between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa. Still Legia Warszawa leading 2-1 against the Blues in this encounter. Chelsea will look to attack against Legia Warszawa right now, looking for that equalizer in this game. Even if they can't get a victory, they just want to get or keep that bragging right at home that yes, they are here to lose in the UEFA Conference League. But this Legia Warszawa side are not allowing that. 87 minutes gone right there. Chelsea 3 more minutes away from the 90th minute of this encounter, which means we're 3 more minutes away from the end of regulation time between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa. Still 2-1. Just in possession of the ball, attacking against Legia Warszawa. What would they make out of that? Just return and finds the Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto returns it back into the part of Badashir, who finds Tosin Adarabioyo. Josh Achipong be called into action and finds his Chelsea teammate. Yes, Pedro Neto returns it back to Josh, and Josh will go back to the Chelsea goalkeeper there, who holds onto the ball. Jorgensen with the ball there, looks out wide and finds Tosin Adarabioyo. Tosin will come forward with the ball for Chelsea. What will Chelsea make out of that? A low pass there. Is there the L there by Legia Warszawa? Will turn defense into attack against the Blues right there in the 88th minute. 2 more minutes for Chelsea to hang on in regulation time in this encounter. With a collapse right there, let's see. Anything can still happen in the game of football. We saw Barcelona, after defeating Borussia Dortmund 4-0 in the first leg, also crashing in the second leg against Borussia Dortmund. But thankfully, they qualified on aggregate goals. So they did all the homework in the first leg. Yeah, might just be it for Chelsea, but the goalkeeper was there to actually get all of that. That would have been a crazy own goal scored against his goalkeeper if that had gone into the back of the net. A cross there, and it's back in place. Chelsea in possession. Looks to attack against Legia Warszawa right now. Still Chelsea in possession as they attack right there. It's Tyreek George on the ball there. Cuts inward with the ball for the Blues. Drops it straight onto the part of Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto goes out wide and finds Noni Madueke. Madueke will approach the ball, but still holds onto the ball. Drops it back to Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto still holds onto the ball. As but all the Legia Warszawa player are back in their balls to defend this against Chelsea. They really want to take this red victory against the Blues home. It's one thing they'll actually be happy with should they get this victory against Chelsea in this encounter. 89 minutes of action gone out of Stamford Bridge. It's still 2-1 Legia Warszawa lead against Chelsea. 86 minutes approaching the 87th minute in that one between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon. It's 2-2 as it stands right now, and if it ends this way at the end of 90 minutes, it's going straight into extra times between Manchester United and Olympique Lyon. Back to our focal match between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa. Still Chelsea defending with all their life right there in the 89th minute of that encounter, as Legia Warszawa still taking the pressure, whereas this momentum be all game long, and still Legia Warszawa find themselves in the box, but Chelsea regains possession. Noni Madueke will lead the counter attack for Chelsea as they look to approach, as he drops it straight into the part of Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto straight into the box of Legia Warszawa. What will he make out of this? Drops across, but good defensive work there from Legia Warszawa. They are not really going to concede a goal there. We are straight into the 90th minute of that encounter between Chelsea and Legia Warszawa. It's still 2-1 Legia leading in this game, though you might say Chelsea have the better share of possession, but losing this game at the front or in front of their own fans is really going to bring a lot of calls by the Chelsea fans against the manager Enzo Maresca. There's really been a lot of noise around him that yes, he's not really doing justice to the team. Legia was on with the chance there with that beat. Ooh, that went on crashing, and it's from that my big friend there, Morishita, the Japanese winger, couldn't get the right touch needed onto the ball there, and it's going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. We are straight into additional minutes in that encounter, waiting for the confirmation to see how many minutes has been added or will be added by the fourth official in that game between Chelsea and Legia. It's 4 minutes additional time, so we have 4 more minutes to play in that encounter between Chelsea and the Legia Warszawa. It's still 2-1 Legia leading. Chelsea has 4 more minutes to defend in that encounter and see if they can get one back in that encounter and probably played out a 2-2 draw with this leg. I can see the frustration on the face of the Chelsea manager, and the Chelsea fans are actually making their way out of the stadium. It has been a disappointing